Alright, well, quick little video. I guess we'll call this like a PSA warning video for all you Patriot Blue Ox. I guess these are brake controller, is what this is. I've never owned one like this. This belongs to my buddy Tim, who came to see me. From Arizona. But along his way here, at some point in time, this little device activated itself and applied the brakes. We don't know exactly for how long, but it didn't notify him on the dash. So it caused a tremendous amount of damage. Now, we don't know why it activated. We ain't got to figure that part out yet. But I was wanting to point out to you what happened or the after results and some of the components. Things got so sometime on his travel here from Arizona to Kentucky, this thing malfunctioned and applied the brakes. Because you've got that 8.1 Vortec in his RV, it's got so much power you just don't even realize it. But in doing so, it got so hot, you can see it melted. These are the sensors on the rear brakes. At least there was something left on them. These are the ABS sensors on the rear brakes. There's a little bit left of them, but on the ABS sensors on the front brakes was completely destroyed. There's nothing left. You can see how the wires melted off here. Here's another example. All the wires melted. Biggest thing here, of course, also it had to destroy the rotors. It destroyed the brake pads, destroyed the calipers. So he did this work himself on his way here. Put in 4 new calipers. Had the rotors turned, 2 new brake lines, ABS sensors on the rear. Have I covered everything? I was trying to figure everything. There may be something else. But anyway, so far, then once it got here, we realized we was going to add the ABS sensors to the front. And in doing so, we had it apart. And I noticed that this didn't feel right. But the only way to really tell was to pull it out. And it got so hot, it cooked the grease out of these bearings. Because you can see, it will not turn. This thing sure turned freely. So that's another component we had to order and install. But anyway, that was a very expensive ordeal. What did we calculate? $1,400? About $1,400 in parts. And in fact, it got so hot, the lower A-arm boot, the boot to the lower A-arm ball joint, it got so hot it melted it. It also melted the tie rod boot. So before it's truly all put back the way it's supposed to be, 2 lower A-arms got to be replaced and 2 tie rod ends got to be replaced, and the front end needs to be realigned. So if this happened to you on the road and you had to pay a shop to do this, you know, you'd probably be out easy $3,000. So just keep that in mind. You know, it's a great idea. It's cool because it's wireless. You got no wires to have to run from the front to the back. But something went wrong with this one anyway. So, but I'll show you what I did on our RV, how I set ours up, so I ensured nothing like this will happen. So give that a little warning message. I don't know what the fix is, but I'm gonna show you something that might help you. Well, it's the next day. I got my buddy on the road. I was going to talk about a little bit more about this Patriot. And well, one thing I wanted to show you quick is, remember I told you the ABS sending unit, how that one got melted. This was on the rear. They didn't get it quite as bad, but this is what's left of a sending unit that was on the front. That's how hot that thing got, and destroyed all those parts and caused all that expense. But I did brief research here, and I noticed that he must have one of the original Patriot, Blue Ox Patriot braking systems, because I realize now they have a Patriot 2 and a Patriot 3 that they've since come out with. I'm assuming they've made improvements to them. Hopefully this doesn't happen anymore, but I don't know. I'm assuming they're still wireless, and maybe that's kind of a scary part. Now, what I went with in our RV was this right here, the Demco. I think it's called Stay and Play. It's kind of, I know it's a little strange name for it, but it's a great product. You can see how it's a little cylinder that mounts to the brake pedal and a little bitty box. And I don't have that. We got such a small car. We tow behind us a Honda Fit, and I didn't want no big box flopping around. And I like the fact this is also proportional braking. It's got like a compressor and a vacuum at the same time, so it ties into your vacuum booster, and it adds air pressure to the cylinder to help push the brake pedal down. And just a great little system. So let me show you. But it also doesn't have a light to light up on your dashboard. So I made an improvement and added one to it. So let me take you outside and show you what I did. All right, so here's a Honda Fit. It's a small little car. All right, here's the package. It sits right in here. Nice, it's out of the way. We want to get ready to tow. all we gotta do is run the transmissions through its gears, and I flip 2 switches. I flip that switch, I got a toggle switch right here, I flip that, and we're ready to tow. And down under here, if you get in here right, you can see that there's this little air cylinder. There's one modification I made. Originally, they have you bolt the cable to the firewall, and it pulls the cable down. I'll get my big finger out of the way. Let's try it this way. You see, here's the cable. With the original design, they bolt this to the firewall, and after enough time of pushing, enough flexing, you can fracture that wire. It'll begin to break. Now, I've got this thing's probably 5 or 6 years old. They've since put in a larger gauge wire, but I've modified mine slightly. I fixed it so the wire actually passes through the firewall, so it doesn't flex at all no longer. So that's a little modification I made. But more importantly, back to the deal with the Patriot thing is, so I want to make sure when this brake pedal goes down, I want to be notified of it, because I don't want no incidents like my buddy went through and have all that expense. Now, the way Stay and Play's got it designed is they put you a little light up here that sticks in your window of your dash, but you know, who's going to see that, you know, when you're driving down the road? So what I did, I tied a wire right from the brake pedal, or from this light actually, back up through the harness and into my connector right here. And so when that brake pedal gets depressed, I get a signal going up to the RV dashboard. Let me show you what I got up there. And of course, as you can see, I've been tinkering here. So here's what I did. I got a wire running all the way back up to the dash, and I got it labeled, and that's a really bright LED. So when I hit my brakes and the brake pedal is depressed in the tow vehicle, that bright LED lights up. So I know when that brake pedal is down. So if anything malfunctioned, my brakes are being applied, because these Vortex have so much power, you just don't know it. You just drag them right down the road, melting the tires off of them and everything else, because we got so much power we can't feel it braking back there. Okay, now we're into the RV. You can see what I've done here. In order to, because when I hook that up, I also have to give myself a charging wire to keep the battery charged on the tow vehicle, and I also wanted a wire going back to the dashboard to illuminate that LED light. So instead of just running 2 small wires all the way down the frame rail, I got me a heavy-duty extension cord, 12 gauge. That's what this is. And I just ran it down the frame rail and zip tied it. So that actually gave me 3 conductors. I had a spare conductor. Of course, I ended up using it later when I got to installing my solar system, or my battery management system for my solar system. I needed an extra wire for it to come off the dash, so it was kind of handy. I was able to tap into it. So now I've ended up using all 3 of those wires for different projects. And you can see I like Demco products, you know, because Demco, they make the Stay and Play braking system, but you can see they also make this tow bar. I've had this thing for years. It's called the Illuminator. It's made out of aluminum, nice, lightweight, but I think it still has a 5,000 pound capacity. So they make good stuff. And here you can see where my extension cord comes up through. It came through the firewall. I put in a rubber boot there. Maybe there was one already there. I pushed through. So there's my heavy duty extension cord. You see so one is a charging wire, one is my brake signal wire, and then there's that ground for my battery boost. I had to do some modification when I installed that battery management system to so it doesn't damage the alternator when we're charging up those lithium-ion batteries. I got a device in there, but in order to do so, I had to modify my battery boost switch, and that's where I tied into the extra wire and able to make that work. So it came in handy. I ended up using all 3 conductors. Anyway, I guess that's the end of this little video. Thought I'd share what I found out. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye.